Hey y'all. So little house rules right now. So it looks like I'm gonna have to do this review live. So welcome, happy Friday. Um, for this, my episode, this is the review for the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, season 5, episode 1. Now, at first, I was gonna do like both episodes, but when I was taking notes for the first episode, I was like, this is too good and there's too much to work with to just do to do 2 whole episodes. It's impossible. So yeah, I'm gonna do them separately because the premiere was just that damn good. It really was. And yeah, I hope y'all can enjoy this live format. Shout out to Jay Lee because she told my ass that Chris, like once you go live and start doing these reviews, you're not gonna want to go edit anymore. And she's right. She is right. But I'm still gonna, do this. And I just feel like I don't want y'all to see my mistakes. But it's fine. It's fine. Anywho, thank y'all for joining me. And thank you for tuning in if you didn't catch the live. So without further ado, this is my review of The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, season 5, episode 1. The ladies are back. No Monica, a new cast member, and 2 friends of. The first 2 episodes were great, but especially the season premiere. Like, it was so good. And I bet y'all that Monica is seething right now, that they are doing so well without her. Like, she can talk all the shit that she wants, but yeah, she can enjoy being a voiceover on House of Villains because she was too nuts to actually be a cast member on the show. I'm just saying. But yeah, here's my rule for, whenever a new season of Housewives start. Everybody has a clean slate. Everybody. Even Mary. And yeah, look, I'm going to give everybody an honest chance, and then the dragging will happen when they deserve it. So yeah, I'm looking at my notes now, as y'all can see. So yeah, episode 1 starts, and immediately I see budget. And production is showing out right now. So they're breaking the fourth wall immediately. They're starting out with the confessionals and going into the ladies' homes, like high drama, seriously. And then we get like a preview of the season, and I'm all in. Like, y'all, when I first saw this a week ago, I was gagged. I enjoyed every second of it. I'm getting ahead of myself, but we're going to go scene by scene. This is a live review. I didn't think I would be doing this. I thought it would be edited, but hey, y'all let me know at the end of the video if y'all prefer it to be live. This is kind of fun because my ass don't have to edit. But yeah, so the first scene opens with Lisa Barlow, of course. I mean, of course. Like, she is the center snowflake, I would say, of this group. And even though she is annoying, look, like, she was nice at BravoCon. Her tequila is actually really good. And I got to applaud her with that Wendy's contract. I just, I'm not a hater. So we're jumping right into an event in this episode, and it's called Bezos. It's kind of like in celebration of Valentine's Day. I think it meant kisses or whatever. So she's arriving to make sure everything's in place, and she's saying that she's happy to see everybody. Well, more than others, like some more than others. And we start to go into the flashbacks. Now, there are a lot of flashbacks in this episode. And you know what? I didn't mind it because it made this episode feel like there were no filler moments. Like, we only got the important parts of a scene. And I actually like that. For the kids that watch Dragon Ball Z, imagine taking out all the fillers and like just keeping the information that you need to know. I appreciated that from production. Again, production needs an Emmy for this franchise. So yeah, in the flashback, we see Lisa talking to Heather and Angie about why she's mad at Whitney. because she talked about her on some podcast she was a guest of. But for some reason, like she's inviting her anyway, but she's still gonna talk shit. So we're back to present day and we see people arriving, and it's an obvious red theme. So people are arriving, and Mary and Angie come together to this event. They're close now. And it all started from when, like last reunion, where Angie let Mary know she has some lipstick on her teeth. And I feel like that's all Mary needed, for her to trust her. Because, if Mary was like calling me everything but a child of God, I would have had her looking stupid at the end of the couch. I wouldn't have told her ass nothing. But, Angie's smart. And, look, she's a full-time cast member now, which I totally agree with, by the way. Like, she works. Like, she actually works. I thought she was kind of like a little thirsty. She is still thirsty, but she's the right amount of thirsty to the point where it's not coming off contrived. And also, hey, everyone coming into the chat. I just want to give y'all a little shout out right quick. Hey, Carlos. Thank y'all for being with me right now. So, y'all know how I feel about Miss Mary Cosby. I still think she's a bigot, but again, clean slate. I guess she got a decent hairstylist these days because, I'm not even mad at the hairstyle that she has. And also, I'm seeing Black people at this party, like more than one, more than two. I was surprised by that. Black people in the chat who actually watched Salt Lake City, were y'all surprised too? I was like, look at this Black woman right here. We saw her more than once. Anywho, I was just gagged by that. So next, Heather arrives with the new friend of Brittany. Can we just have one spelling of Brittany? Like, I think she spells her name Britani. Why are there so many names? Like, I have another friend, Brittany. She's like one of my best friends. She spells her name Britni. Like, there's so many different ways to spell Brittany. It's crazy. Like, because I was writing this down as I was taking my notes, and then my spell check, if you got an iPhone, oh my God, it is so annoying. But yeah, Heather looks amazing because Ozempic is doing wonders for her. Much like how Ozempic is doing wonders for Christina Aguilera. I'm really not mad at it. She's wearing this latex dress, like wrap dress with hearts on it. She look good. I am not mad at it. Go ahead, Heather. Go ahead. She looks good. She greets Mary, and soon as Mary sees her, she's like, you look pretty and thin. You're thin. That made me laugh. That I had to admit that made me laugh. Heather is just happy to get a compliment from Mary because the last thing Mary told her was, you look inbred. So she's going to take this compliment. But yeah, not only is Mary a bigot, but she's fat phobic too. What else phobic is she? But next we were introduced to the new girl, and she turned heads already. Enter Bronwyn, who's a fashion girl clearly, and she's arriving in this Comme des Garçons, like fur red heart coat that if you're familiar with pop culture like I am, like Rihanna wore that. Like that exact same coat. I recognize that immediately. And I'm just like, now that is how you make an entrance. Seriously. So she knows Lisa. That's her connection to the group. They've known each other for 7 years. And side note, her confessional look with that red is everything. I'm feeling Bronwyn. I really hope, are y'all feeling Bronwyn in the chat? Let me know. Let me know if you're feeling Bronwyn because, I always have a problem with the new girls on Salt Lake City. They always start to disappoint me. They're either a fraud or racist. Bronwyn, I hope you don't let me down. Seriously, because I like you. Even after episode 2. Anywho, we get another flashback, and this was 5 days ago, and we see Bronwyn in this yellow puffy coat with boy shorts, a two piece. Lets us know that it's 37 degrees. I'm wondering, where is she going dressed like that? Now, I just got to say, if she was black, they probably would not even let her in that establishment. I'm just saying. I feel that way when I saw it. But yeah, I'm not saying she didn't look good, but it just didn't make sense to me. That's all. Was she on her way from a video shoot or going to a video shoot afterward? Um, but yeah, we get a little background, and she's meeting up with Lisa for lunch. We see what Bronwyn does, and it seemed like she's a legit fashion girl. We look into her home life, and she has 6 dogs, all named after House of Cards characters. Cute, cute. She has a teenage daughter from a previous relationship, and her husband, who she's married to, is almost 30 years her senior. Now, Bronwyn is my age. I'm sure she's 39 now, but she's 38 here. But she looks 45. And it's no shade. I'm just saying she looks 45, and maybe that's why, like, she like her and her husband don't look too far apart in age. Or is it just me? And if Bronwyn, if you're watching, I love you. I'm just saying you just look a little bit older. That's all. I thought she was in her 40s. She still looked good. But I like her so far. So we're back to present day, and Meredith Marks arrives. Now, what I love about doing Salt Lake City is that the imitations, of course. And I don't know, I feel like Meredith just reminds me of an android, like rumors and nastiness. So I don't know. I'm going to be perfecting it, because sometimes I'm just give y'all a little hint. I be practicing a little bit just so it could be right. So now just doing it off the cuff, I'm kind of nervous. Anywho, she arrives, and then everyone is wondering if Whitney is going to show up or not. And I feel like that's the only conflict in the group so far is with Whitney and Lisa. So we cut to Whitney in the car. She's on her way there. And it looks like she knows already that Lisa's pissed off at her already. How did she know that? We'll get to that. So then we're catching up with her a bit, and what she's been up to since the reunion, which we find out was only 3 months ago. So they started filming 3 months after the reunion. So then we see Whitney arrive with the other friend of, I forgot her name, y'all. You could drop her in the chat if you know it. But Lisa's surprised that she showed up, and I'm just like, why? You invited her. It wasn't like, when Portia went to Kenya's housewarming, because Portia wasn't invited. So I'm just like, why were you surprised? Did you not want her to go? If you didn't want her to come, why did you invite her? Let me see what y'all talking about right quick. Okay, you're here for her. Yes, I love the new girl so far. All right. You're on the fence. I get it. You got to be hesitant with the new girls on this franchise. But I'm waiting on some foolishness to drop. She was doing too much too soon in that outfit. Meredith is high camp. You're saying Bronwyn looks 52. I ain't going to be that mean. Bronwyn almost comes off as Ion of SLC. You know what? That is a good point. I can see that a little bit as far as the fashion, but her fashion makes sense, though. Like for the occasion, sometimes. Mealy? It was something around that. The older black lady kept pointing out Bronwyn. I mean, she did look fierce at that party. I would give her best dress, and then Heather out of the cast. But let's continue. So later we're getting to know Heather's friend, Brittany, and she has a confessional already. Good for her. I mean, I love when the friends of are even working the first episode. And I guess her fun fact is she's dating like on and off again, Donnie and Marie Osmond's nephew. And when I heard that, I was just like, no one under the age of 50 cares. Like, ask a Gen Z person who is Donnie and Marie Osmond. I would be very shocked if they know who they are. So then we cut to Heather at the party. She's proudly telling people that she's on Ozempic. And I honestly think the shame of Ozempic kind of worn off like maybe over a year and a half ago. Like everyone's doing it. We then cut to Bronwyn and Mary chatting. And then Brittany joins them on the bench. And as soon as she sits down, wrong roll already. Not sure if it was shade or not. Now, I want to focus on y'all right now. Let me know in the chat if you think Brittany was trying to be shady when she said, "Oh, I love your costume," and Brown was like, "Costume? What?" And I was like, "Oh, no, she didn't. Like, for real?" Like, even Mary was like, "Girl, what? Girl, that's not a costume. That's fashion. That's fashion." And y'all, this was my favorite scene of the episode. I was, anything involving Mary and being my favorite scene of the episode. Look, from there on, they were tag teaming her ass, and rightfully so. I was cheering them on. Like, this was an unlikely friendship that I saw coming. It looked like they actually bonded over this. So, anywho, we cut to Mary's confessional, and she's like, "Who is this?" She's the one looked like she got a costume on with that German Shepherd coat she got on. She said that coat looked like they shaved a bunch of German Shepherds and made a coat out of it and painted it red. And then early in the episode, it's even funnier because she was bragging about that coat and how old it was. Girl, give that to the Goodwill or burn it. Now, let me see if y'all was thinking it was shade. Let's see. Oh, you just thought she was an airhead? No, she was nervous. Okay. Costume was out of line. I think so. I'm glad they ate her up. That's how I feel. They ate her ass up. And we're going to get the episode 2, y'all, sooner than later. I promise. It's just my work is a little hectic right now. I'm going out of town for a wedding. I got to make sure, the coins are right. But yeah, next episode, they ate her ass up too. Brittany comes across as an airhead. I think Brittany is like Mary. She don't think before she speaks. Okay. So, let's see. Where was I? Oh, so then Bronwyn, she then educates Brittany on her coat that's actually one of 3, and it retails for $15,000. So yeah, I'm not sure how she got the code, but yeah, I feel like Bronwyn is legit, y'all. So then Mary then talks about her office full of fashion and how she couldn't get enough of it growing up, having 5 siblings. And then poor Brittany, she puts her foot in her mouth again. And she says, she calls it, "Oh, well, you hoard now, right? Like, call it hoarding." And I'm just like, you know what? You can tell that Brittany was a fan of the show because she saw Mary's closet. That's the only way she could call her a hoarder. And I agree with Brittany that she's a hoarder, but yeah, she put her foot in her mouth then. And Bronwyn was just like, Brittany just looked like, not only does she have, what was it? She said she didn't have a way with fashion, but also not a way with words. So yeah, Mary and Bronwyn are like, "Girl, like, we need to get you a thesaurus or something." So then Brittany tries to recover by saying, "Oh yeah, well, I'm just talking about scarcity or whatever. Like, I grew up poor." And oh my God, Mary is like, "I never said I grew up poor." And Mary was right. She never said she, like, I don't even think she alluded to not having. She just said she wanted so much fashion, but she has so many siblings. So I'm just like, why did you assume that she meant she was poor? Brittany is then like, well, I grew up poor. And she's then said she found herself putting dinner rolls in her purse to take home. Mary interjects immediately and says, I wouldn't do that. I would never do that. That's not okay. Brittany says, well, if you grew up poor, you'd understand. Mary is like, she's had enough. She gets her purse, much like Viola Davis in that meme. And she's like, I'll be right back. And she walks off. That was such a great moment, y'all. Such a good moment. Now, let me put my phone on Do Not Disturb right quick because I want to get this review because there was so much to cover. We're only halfway through. So we're moving on to Heather, and she's talking to Meredith and asking, has she spoken with Whitney? Which then conjures up another flashback. I didn't mind with them talking a few days before. Let me know in the chat if y'all are loving the flashbacks because I didn't mind it. So then we see her talking to Meredith as she's recovering in bed from a breast reduction. Also, I want Meredith to stop messing with her face. Like, she's starting to look like a porcelain doll and almost expressionless. And the lips, stop blowing up the lips too. It's getting to like Kim Zolciak levels or whatever. And also, the way that she talks or whatever, it just looks a little weird. That's all. I still like Meredith. I'm just saying. She's pretty as she is. She don't need to touch the face anymore. Oh, one of three. She said that she owns a coat, Rihanna owns a coat, and the other one's in the museum, the Comme des Garçons Museum. So yeah, let's see. So we're catching up with Meredith and her friendships with the group since the reunion happened. And is it just me or the ladies are making a conscious effort not to say Monica's name this episode? I don't care because so far I totally forgot Monica existed. I was having such a good time watching. So Meredith does not see her for Whitney, and she's mad at her for doing bath products because apparently baths are her thing. This is a remarkable amount of pettiness, and Heather can't even hold in her smile and giggling because I'm sure she sees how ridiculous this all is. So then we're back to present day. Lisa's talking everyone's ear off about, her privileged son, how he's off on his mission. And also it seems like if you were a white woman in Utah, like you were Mormon and you attended BYU. It just seemed like it from the confessionals. So then later we see Meredith approach Whitney immediately. Like, not even a hi, how you doing, girl? Like, what's been going on? Like, she just goes right into it. Brittany, what's up with the bath bombs? Like, is she serious? Bath bombs. Apparently, she's accusing Whitney of stealing her idea, and she sees it as a personal attack. They're going back and forth now. Meredith's like, a real friend would pick up the phone and say, hey, I'm doing bath bombs. Whitney comes right back at her and says, well, a real friend would know that I've already had bath bombs for sale on my website. Now, she kind of gagged Meredith there. Meredith's like, no, you didn't. Now, what I need from you, Whitney, is to produce some receipts saying that you've had bath bombs on your website so you can shut her up. Like, that would be really good. Like, has anybody confirmed this yet in the chat? Let me know. But anyway, they're still going at it. And now Meredith tries to bring up Reality Von Tease and how the blame was on her, which I will say last season, like, they did owe her an apology for that because they were all jumping on Meredith from what I remember. So then, speaking of which, we go to a flashback 2 weeks ago now of Heather telling Lisa and Angie how Meredith is feeling about the reunion, how she felt like she didn't get the apologies that were like ode to her. Like for the rumors and nastiness. So yeah, we come back to the present, and Angie inserts herself in the conversation just out of the blue. Like Whitney and Meredith are still talking, but here go Angie, like that meme of that woman when the Migos was about to fight Joe Budden when she was just leaning her head in, like just out of nowhere. But Angie wants her moment because again, y'all, she is thirsty. She is what she is. So now she has Meredith's full attention. She tells her she's aware that she wants an apology, but in order for her to give her an apology, she feels like she's owed one. Angie then goes into her Birkin and pulls out a scroll. You heard me right, a scroll. Like a hear ye, that type of scroll. I hollered, I have to admit. And it didn't even feel forced. Like it didn't, for some strange reason. Like mouths dropped at the party. Mine would too. Production even like zooms in on the horse's reaction. So the scroll has about 6 things on it. I paused it. One of them is blurred out for some reason, but like when you think of the effort that she had to put into that even makes it more funny. I think it landed. Y'all let me know. So then Meredith denies, I think, everything that Angie is saying, and she's had enough. Like, and she does what she does best, which is disengaging, and walks away. So later on, Lisa makes a self-absorbed speech along with some shade at Whitney. Then they all go inside the barn to eat. It's a real fabulous setup. As they're sitting down, Mary notices that she's sitting right next to Brittany. And she makes it known that she is not happy. She even tries to switch. Now, I think, this is just me thinking, production, somebody must have saw that encounter she had with Brittany earlier, then ran inside the barn and switched her next to Brittany. Like, it just feels like it because it can't be a coincidence like that. So anyway, we cut to Mary's confessional. She's like, I don't want her sticking bread in my purse. She had to do this recently because when you're little, you don't have a purse. And now I'm just thinking, Mary kind of have a point. Like, girl, how long did you stop? Like, when did you stop putting bread in your purse? Mary Cosby was on one this episode. I cannot even lie. I'm not going to go as far to say I like her, but she had me laughing the entire episode. Now, let me take a little break, see what y'all saying. I know I was on here I was talking for a minute. Let's see, Boomer in the house. I loves me some Donnie and Marie, and I still have Osmond Brothers vinyl that our parents bought us. Chomp down, simple language would have sufficed. Stop lying, Mary. You would stuff a roll in your bag. Meredith's eyeliner was weird. Let's see. Y'all saying that because she has nothing else going on. I'm assuming you're talking about Angie. I'm glad Monica isn't on this season. She brought so much negative energy to the show. I agree with that. She got the designer's demo piece for Riri. Oh. Now, where did you get this information from? That kind of would make sense a little bit. A demo piece. Okay. Mary's confessional on Bass was the realest ish. Yeah, I remember that one. It looks like y'all all like thought the scroll was a funny moment. You thought it was corny. I mean, this was just classic ridiculous Housewives. Like, this is what I want, like, out of a Housewives episode. Like, nothing was too dark. It wasn't like I'm not filming with her. Like, even though Lisa was mad at Whitney, she still invited her to her event so they could get into it. Mary was too real for that. Sorry, Mary was always my problematic fave. Oh, Carlos, here you go. Mary was MVP for episode 1. Okay, okay. And yes, I totally agree with this. Her thirst works in her favor. It just works. It's a different type of thirsty. But yeah, let's continue. So everyone is seated. The ladies are getting to know the newbies. Bronwyn says that her stepkid is actually the same age as her. I think about maybe even 6 months older. Like, Bronwyn can be her husband's daughter. Excuse me. It's kind of creepy, but I think the only reason it visually works because Bronwyn looks over 40 years old. So they've been married for 10 years, and which means she was 28 and he was 55. Whew. Moving on. So Angie and Meredith get into it at the table, and Angie needs to let it go at this point. That's what I think. Meredith tells her she's finished with her and I'm going to live my life and be happy. And then Angie says, yeah, be happy in your rental. Bronwyn at this point is even trying to get Angie to just drop it and move on. But Angie just can't help herself. Like, look, Angie, you and Meredith need to move forward. I don't want it to be you versus Meredith all season. Like, just get over it. Like, I agree with Bronwyn. Like, starting now, from here, do not bring up the past. Like, it's over, it's done. Move forward. Take a lesson out of the old Roni girls. So then we move on to Lisa giving a toast, and then Whitney finally asks her what's her issue with her. And here we go. Whitney is asking her, like, what specifically are you mad about? And Lisa accused her of lying about her character. And Whitney says she's not a liar. Now, I was on Whitney's side a bit. Let me know whose side y'all were on with, like, Whitney versus Lisa. So this is why I'm on her side. Now, Whitney on the podcast, what she said, from what we heard is she thinks she's a villain. Lisa wants everything to be about her or something like that. She was more so talking about her experience with Whitney. I'm sorry, with her experience with Lisa. Whitney's talking about her experience with Lisa, and I'm just like, you can't really lie about that. Like, she technically didn't lie about anything. And she made that Diet Coke explanation, which I thought was really good. Like, if someone says Diet Coke is the best, I'm like, okay, that's your opinion. It's not a fact, but I can't call you a liar for saying that. I mean, I think Dr. Pepper is better, but, I can't call them a liar. I'm just being like, oh, I don't agree with you, and I don't appreciate you talking about me in that way on the podcast. So, but calling her a liar about that, I'm not sure if that works. That checks out to me. Y'all let me know. So then Whitney tells Lisa, you expect people to kiss every part of your asshole. When she said that, like, the looks on the other ladies' faces. Lisa then catches Whitney saying she was told about it. And now Lisa wants to know, who told you? Who told you? Because it could only be two people. She points at Heather and Angie. So then we get a dramatic pause followed by another flashback, y'all. And this is where the flashbacks work, because we get the reveals. And it turned out to be Angie K. And you know what? It's not surprising because, of course, Heather wouldn't dare jeopardize her friendship with Lisa, like, for Whitney. And we'll get into that in episode 2. I want to expound upon that. But yeah, side note, in the flashback, Whitney's house looks amazing. Like, that season 5 coin must have been nice. So then we see Angie. I think we're back present day. So we see Angie telling, oh, no. Sorry, we're still back in the flashback. In the flashback, live show, y'all. Sorry. We see Angie telling Whitney everything that Lisa told her, and even agrees with Whitney. So now we're back to the present day, and Lisa is furious at Angie, even gets out of her seat at one point. She wants Angie to like butt out completely between her and Whitney, and she starts questioning Angie's loyalty. So then Lisa continues to call Whitney a liar and starts listing off the lies told by Whitney from prior seasons. She then throws her drink on the floor, like just grabs her drink, like I guess for dramatic effect. But I think it was doing the most because the staff is going to have to clean that, just letting you know. But yeah, so they're now going back and forth. Whitney says that she's not a liar and has never lied. Now, see, Whitney, that's probably where you messed up. But then we hear Heather laugh out loud, like belly laugh when Whitney says that. So then when Whitney says, name one thing I've lied about, then Heather and Meredith jump in. They're listing prior incidents as well. And now it's 3-on-1. I ain't like that. I ain't like that at all. Like, even if, like, Whitney kind of put herself in that corner, I don't like it when it's 3-against-1. Like, they were clearly like jumping her because Whitney was holding her own against Lisa. But then when you got Heather, who can sometimes be a wordsmith, like when Heather is on, she's on. Receipts, proof, timeline, screenshots, every fucking thing. That will go down in Bravo history, by the way. But yeah, Heather even does a callback of the last season. You lied about my vagina. That was funny too. But everyone is talking at the same time. Angie's even trying to get a word in to defend Whitney. It's like, guys, y'all are like ganging up on her right now. But they keep going. They even call her a liar in unison. And so at this point, I felt bad for Whitney. And I just feel like it just wasn't a fair fight. And I also feel like, Whitney, you should have brought up Heather lying, because I know Heather, of all people on that cast, better not call out somebody lying, Miss Black Eye. Did you forget that soon? Like that you lied and even put some producers' jobs in jeopardy? And for what? So I'm really mad that Whitney missed out on that opportunity to like cook Heather, because Heather shouldn't be calling nobody like out online, period, point blank, dot. So now it's back to Whitney versus Lisa after things kind of calm down. Lisa brings up Whitney's healing journey. And now she feels, and tell her that she feels like she's morally superior amongst the group. Whitney then feels like, you're weaponizing my trauma. You're weaponizing my trauma. Lisa tells her, you need to keep healing because you won't stop doing this. Whitney has had enough and is like, you want to meet the healed Whitney? Fuck you, Lisa Barlow. I think Lisa was shocked that Whitney even said that, would dare say that to her. Lisa then tells her, you can go. And then, Whitney was already about to get up and leave anyway. So then, let's see. Yeah, Whitney's headed out. It's already an entire spectacle in front of all of Lisa's guests. The Jumanji drums are getting louder and louder as she's leaving with her friend, and Angie's leaving with her too. So then Whitney is still yelling at Lisa from the door as she's walking out. And then that is where the episode ends, y'all. Like, this episode deserved a standing ovation. I have no notes. No notes. That was a perfect premiere. And I don't even care if the opening season gave like 300,000. Like that's what the ratings were. I feel like it made up on Peacock because people are watching. I don't know the ratings for the episode 2, but that was how you do a premiere. And hopefully they could keep up this momentum. Right now they're 2 for 2. We're gonna get into episode 2. I'm gonna try to do it tomorrow, y'all. I'm gonna try. I gotta go to work at like 2:30 tomorrow, but it'll probably be an early episode. But yeah, it was such a good episode. Now, let me see what y'all were saying while I was talking. Mary was entertaining. Angie's a dog with a bone. You felt neutral between Whitney and Lisa. Whitney is the Ashley of Salt Lake City. I absolutely agree with that. That is a very good point. I got a theory. The shorter Whitney's hair, the messier she acts. Oh, yes. It seems like they're not struggling anymore. And I feel like once you get to season 5, like you got a constant check, I feel like they're good. To be fair, Whitney only has an estranged relationship with the truth when she's highly intoxicated with alcohol. I don't feel bad for Whitney because Whitney has done the same to her castmates. Fair, fair. I prefer the unedited Peacock versions. Well, are they doing uncensored episodes now? Because look, I definitely prefer that. Let's see. I wouldn't say perfect, but it was good, Chris. I thought it was perfect personally. It was 10 out of 10. And yes, I do believe Heather is fake as hell. And we'll get into that in the next episode. But yeah, I really enjoyed this episode, y'all. Like, so good. That's why I was just like, I feel like I just wanted to give this episode its own review because this review would have been way too long. It would have been like almost an hour and 20 minutes. And still, I want to keep these, even my live reviews, to a decent time, But yeah, I would love to know what y'all thought about this episode. 10 out of 10. And we didn't need Monica at all. Like, no point of this episode that I was thinking, oh, I wish Monica was here. And I know that's getting on Monica's nerves so bad. What else? What also made this such a great episode? It was just no fillers at all. Like, it was no point where, it was just like a scene where we see them talking, we're waiting for them, something like with no purpose. I just really appreciated that. Like, kudos. I need to find out who's like the production company behind Salt Lake City because they need to fix some of the franchises, in my opinion. Whew. But yeah, y'all. Oh, that was a mouthful. So I'm gonna head on out, y'all. But me and Alex, we just did a special episode of Pop Rose. We need to call it Pop Rose Legal. We had one of our friends, Lauren the lawyer, come on, and we had like a legal discussion about Diddy. She answered all of our questions. I just did that an hour ago. So imagine how tired I am right now. I'm a little delirious. But I really enjoyed that so much. So I really hope y'all check that out on Alex's channel. Yeah. And Pop Roast should be Sunday, I think, because that's my only off day. Anywho, y'all, this was fun. And also, again, let me know if you prefer the live versions. Do you like me doing reviews live, or do you prefer the edited reviews where I'm watching it back while I'm, in front of the camera? But yeah, with that, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you for the next episode.